Hello, my name is Hannah Tofty, and I'm the state coordinator of the National History Day program in Washington State. Welcome to the 39th annual Washington History Day virtual state contest awards ceremony. I come to you today from Olympia, Washington, which is part of the ancestral lands of the Steh-Charts Band of the indigenous people of the Squaxin Island tribe. Visit native-land.ca to learn more about the history of the area you call home. The National History Day program is a nationwide social studies program for students in grades 6 through 12. Washington students from across the state participated in History Day this year, with 57 skilled and generous teachers guiding 365 dedicated and hardworking students to bring 233 creative and informative historical research projects to the 2021 virtual state contest. I know many students this year are watching the award ceremony with your families and friends, so I want to make sure that everyone understands the truly extraordinary work these students have done this year. While learning virtually, these students first studied the historical research process, including how to find, examine, and analyze evidence of the past, how to pull all that research together to tell a historical story, and how to write an annotated bibliography. Then they selected their own research topic based on this year's theme, Communication in History, the Key to Understanding. Even though most library, museum, and archives buildings were closed, students found ways to access high-quality scholarly research online. After becoming experts in their topic, they created a History Day project to share their research, interpretations, and conclusions with others. They entered their project into a History Day contest at the regional level, with many students having to convert their physical History Day projects into a virtual format. Regional contest judges determined that their projects were most worthy of moving on to compete again at the state level, and students used the judges' feedback to revise their projects and prepare for the state contest. Now our state contest judges have evaluated the students' work again and have provided additional feedback. And today, these students will learn if their entry will advance to National History Day's virtual national contest or even win a special award. While competitions do have winners and there are prizes, I hope that both now and in the years to come, you will all recognize the skills you have gained, the accomplishments you have made, and the resilience you have shown through the History Day program. Let's have a round of applause for all the 2021 state contest students. It took 97 volunteers from across Washington state and beyond to make this virtual event happen. That's 97 people who valued the time, energy, and spirit you put into your History Day projects, and who truly missed getting to see your projects and talk to you about your work in person. Thank you to this year's gracious virtual volunteers. I'd like to thank the National History Day organization for making this program available to us here in Washington State, and the Office of Superintendent of Public Instruction for administering the program. We are also grateful to our partners at the Washington State Historical Society, Washington State Archives, Washington State Council for the Social Studies, and the National Society of the Colonial Dames of America in the state of Washington for your support. The 2020-2021 Washington History Day program received financial support from the National Society of the Colonial Dames of America in the state of Washington, Mr. Matt Lotion, Mr. Mike Saunders, and Mr. Stephen Faust. We offer our sincere thanks to all of these donors. I would also like to take a moment to thank the Washington History Day Advisory Committee and its chair, Randy Schnabel, as well as the regional coordinators for Washington's 8 regional contests. These local volunteers, many of whom were also full-time virtual teachers, pulled out all the stops to plan, organize, and manage 8 virtual regional contests. Thank you to regional coordinators Joshua Steiger, Megan Garbett-Steiger, Irene Suhu, Michelle Annett, John Zingali, Jim Sawatsky, John Bookinger, Randy Schnabel, Alan Plummer, Jill Berge, Nicole Kessler, Matt Norling, and Dr. Jackie Headland-Tyler. None of us would be where we are today without the tireless work of teachers. Thank you to the History Day teachers who brought this program into your virtual classrooms and guided these students through their historical research journeys. There are 2 History Day teachers we would like to honor this year as both Washington History Day Teachers of the Year and as Washington State's nominees for the National Patricia Bering Teacher of the Year Award. Our Junior Division Teacher of the Year is Bradley Liebrecht from West Valley Junior High in Yakima. And our Senior Division Teacher of the Year is Jill Berge from Lake Washington High School in Kirkland. Congratulations, Brad and Jill. We are glad to honor you as Washington History Day Teachers of the Year and proud to have you represent Washington in the running for the National Award. In addition to our contest category awards, we offer some special awards at the state contest. The individuals and organizations who sponsor these awards know that History Day students create some pretty outstanding historical research projects, and they're happy to celebrate your accomplishments in this additional way. If your entry wins a special award, you will be contacted by email to arrange the payment of your prize. We have several awards in naval, maritime, and military history. We'll start with the Naval Order of the United States Naval History Award. Sponsored by the Naval Order of the United States Pacific Northwest Commandery, this award acknowledges an outstanding entry on naval history with a prize of $100. This year's winners are Owen Felt and Anthony Zhang from Timbercrest Middle School for their entry Miracle at Midway, How Communications Changed the Course of a War. Teacher Kim Matthews. Next, we have the Lyle L. Nelson Research Awards. Sponsored by the Puget Sound Navy Museum, these awards acknowledge 2 outstanding entries in naval, maritime, or military history with prizes of $150. Our Junior Division winners are Brandon Nye and Bryant Nye from Skyview Middle School for their entry Tap Code, Ciphering Communication to Survive. Teacher Nicole Malecki. Our Senior Division winner is Esau Adana from Kamiak High School for their entry, The Cuban Missile Crisis, From Simple Miscommunication to Near Devastation. Teacher Shan Oglesby. And we have the National Maritime Historical Society Awards in both the Junior Division and the Senior Division. These awards in the Junior Division acknowledge 2 outstanding entries in maritime history with prizes of $100 for first place and $50 for second place, with both winners receiving a 1-year membership to Sea History magazine. Our first place winner is Riley Thornock from Housel Middle School for their entry Sink, Sank, Sunk, How Failed Communication Led to Disaster. Teacher Dean Smith. And our second place winner is Avery Tate from Centennial Middle School for their entry, The Attack on Pearl Harbor and Its Miscommunications. Teacher Karen Price. In the Senior Division, these awards acknowledge 2 outstanding entries in maritime history with prizes of $100 for first place and $50 for second place, and again, both winners receive a 1-year membership to Sea History magazine. Our first place winners are Marissa Gantar and Dominic Newman from Lake Washington High School for their entry, Miscommunication in the Cuban Missile Crisis. Teacher Mike Hollinger. And in second place, our winner is Vibhakshaya Sathish Kumar from North Creek High School for their entry, The Stained Paintbrush. Teacher Rhonda McGee. Congratulations to the winning students, and thank you to the Naval Order of the United States Pacific Northwest Commandery, the National Maritime Historical Society, and the Puget Sound Navy Museum for sponsoring these awards. Next are Chinese or Chinese American History Awards. These awards are sponsored by Mrs. Irene Suhu and acknowledge outstanding entries in Chinese or Chinese American history. The first award of $100 goes to Cindy Liang from Leota Middle School for their entry, When Communication Breaks Down, Gunboat Diplomacy and the Opium Wars. Teacher John Moore. The second award of $100 goes to Shreya Thakur from Kamayakan Middle School for their entry, 1989 Tiananmen Square Massacre, Eradicated from China and Erased from History. Teacher Marcy Martin. Mrs. Suhu would also like to award a Chinese History Merit Award of $50 to Ryan Pasquale from Leota Middle School for their entry, The Tiananmen Square Massacre, Silencing the Cries for Freedom. Teacher John Moore. And a Chinese History Merit Award of $50 each to Emily Chen and Winnie Chen from Prosser High School for their entry, Tiananmen Square Incident, Long Live Freedom, Long Live Democracy. Teacher Kyla Smith. Congratulations to the winning students, and thank you to Irene Suhu for sponsoring these awards. We have 8 awards sponsored by the Colonial Dames. We'll start with the Women's History Awards. These awards acknowledge 3 outstanding entries in women's history with prizes of $100. The Frances Anderson Backus Award goes to Vaishnavi Anamraju and Alexis Savini from Evergreen Middle School for their entry Refrigerator Ladies, the miscommunicated story of the ENIAC 6. Teacher Nicole Kessler. The Dr. Carol Coe Award goes to Ananya Bezbarua, Dia Modi, and Ramya Suresh from Timberline Middle School for their entry Rose Schneiderman, the Red-Haired Labor Union Leader. Teacher Casey Whitlatch. And the Janet Barker Futh Memorial Award goes to Mallory Pate from the Delta High School for their entry She Made It After All, Mary Tyler Moore's portrayal of the modern American woman. Teacher David Blackader. Next is the Susan and Bart Lynham Award. This award acknowledges an outstanding senior division entry that demonstrates the importance of strong leadership with a prize of $100. This year's winner is Allie McDougall from Charles Wright Academy for their entry The Big Burn, A New Conservation Conversation. Teacher Tom Kramer. The Junior Division Awards are also sponsored by the National Society of the Colonial Dames of America in the state of Washington. These awards acknowledge 2 outstanding Junior Division entries on any topic with prizes of $100. The Laura B. Gowan Award goes to Arisha Gupta, Saranya Palmi, and Vaishnavi Pavaluri from International Community School for their entry From Intelligence to Independence Behind the Scenes of the American Fight for Freedom. Teacher Alexandra Fraley. And the William James Bain Jr. Memorial Award goes to Angela Dong and Manya Pradeep Narayan from Evergreen Middle School for their entry Communication, Education, and Indoctrination, the Nazi Germany Education System. Teacher Nicole Kessler. The Senior Division Awards acknowledge 2 outstanding Senior Division entries on any topic with prizes of $100. The Representative Ruth Kagi Award goes to Diana Manzanis and Sabria Morshed from the Delta High School for their entry Red Alert, It's the McCarthy Era. Teacher David Blackader. And the Senator Mark Mullet Award goes to Ria Kalra and Helena Zhang from Eastlake High School for their entry The Pentagon Papers, Communicating Harsh Truths at What Cost. Teacher Timothy Rogers. Congratulations to the winning students, and thank you to the Colonial Dames for sponsoring these awards. We also have several awards for projects on state and local history. The eClampus Vetus Awards are sponsored by the eClampus Vetus Local Chapter 5440. These awards acknowledge 2 outstanding entries in local history with prizes of $100. In the Junior Division, the award goes to Judah Bullock from Pleasant Valley Middle School for their entry Miscommunication in Word and Deed, Key to Understanding the Nez Perce Tribe's Century of Loss. Teacher Irene Suhu. And the Senior Division winner is Robert Luton from Riverside High School for their entry Spokane and the IWW, The Forgotten Soapbox Silence. Teacher Chris Wren. The Washington State Archives Regional Local History Awards are sponsored by the Washington State Archives. These awards acknowledge 2 outstanding entries for use of the regional and/or local archives with prizes of $100. The Junior Division winners are Kimberly Ortman, Kavin Palanisamy, and Trisha Pakuluri from Canyon Park Middle School for their entry Native American Boarding Schools, A Struggle to Communicate Through History. Teacher Craig Tupper. And the Senior Division winner is Hallie Shue from Lakeside School for their entry A Dainty Derogatory Sort of Success, How the Women's Suffrage Movement of Washington State Demonstrated the Paradoxical Nature of Respectable Communication. Teacher Michael Brandon. Next, we have the Washington State History Awards, sponsored by the Washington State Historical Society. These awards acknowledge 2 outstanding entries in Washington State history, with prizes of $200 in the Junior Division and $300 in the Senior Division. The Junior Division winners are Kimberly Ortman, Kavin Palanisamy, and Trisha Pakuluri from Canyon Park Middle School for their entry Native American Boarding Schools, A Struggle to Communicate Through History. Teacher Craig Tupper. The Senior Division winner is Hallie Shue from Lakeside School for their entry, A Dainty Derogatory Sort of Success, How the Women's Suffrage Movement of Washington State Demonstrated the Paradoxical Nature of Respectable Communication. Teacher Michael Brandon. And finally, the Washington State Teen Historian Award, sponsored by the Washington State Historical Society. This award acknowledges an outstanding senior division competitor with a $500 cash prize and a summer residency with the Washington State Historical Society, during which the student will adapt elements of their History Day project for use by the Washington State History Museum. This year's winner is Amelia Chu from Newport Senior High School for their entry, The Dutch Encounter: How Miscommunications in the New World Contributed to an Era of Exploitation. Teacher Robert Velas. Congratulations to the winning students, and thank you to E. Clampus Vetus Chapter 5440, Washington State Archives, and the Washington State Historical Society for sponsoring these awards. Once again, if your entry won a special award, you will be contacted by email to arrange the payment of your prize. Let's move on to the category awards, and don't forget to stick around afterwards to hear the outstanding school winners. So here's what you need to know about category awards and the schedule moving forward. First, all student competitors will receive evaluation forms with feedback from the contest judges. By the end of the day on Monday, May 3rd, students and teachers will be able to log into their accounts on the state contest website and click the evals button to download their evaluation forms. Some students may have more forms than others if their entry was judged in both a preliminary and a finals round. Student competitors who qualify for the national contest will also receive a medal, which I will mail to the address entered into the students' accounts during registration. Here is some extremely important information for nationals qualifiers. Each national qualifier who wants to participate in the national contest must register for the event. Registration will open Monday, May 3rd, and you will receive an email with instructions. Registration closes on Tuesday, May 18th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 8:59 p.m. our time, Pacific Time. Please make sure that you complete your registration by 8:59 p.m. on Tuesday, May 18th. As part of the national contest registration process, each student is charged a registration fee of $150 by the National History Day organization. To thank all nationals qualifiers for staying committed to the History Day program through this very unique school year, the Washington History Day program has arranged with National History Day for us to pay the $150 registration fee for all nationals qualifiers this year. To make sure that you are not charged the $150 fee and that it's charged to me instead, you will need to enter a coupon code during your registration. I will email this coupon code to all nationals qualifiers and their teachers on or before Monday, May 3rd. Please do not register for the event until you receive this coupon code from me. Today, I will read the names of all finalists, but only first and second place entries qualify to compete in the national contest. Washington State is fortunate that we have a lot of brilliant projects from talented students, but the nature of a competition is that we have to select an extremely small few of you to advance to nationals. We have such a competitive program here that there are entries that didn't even make it to the finals round that we would have been proud to have represent Washington at the national contest. You have all achieved something special for having made it this far. Let's have one more round of applause for all our state contest student competitors. Okay, on to the category awards. We'll start with junior paper. In 6th place, from Kamayakan Middle School, Anisha Vaish, Swami Vivekananda, Communicating to Improve Interfaith Understanding Between the East and the West. Teacher Marcy Martin. In 5th place, from Leota Middle School, Jaya Joshi, Poetry from the Harlem Renaissance, The Voice of African American Culture. Teacher John Moore. In 4th place, from Kamayakan Middle School, Shreya Thakur, 1989 Tiananmen Square Massacre, Eradicated from China and Erased from History. Teacher Marcy Martin. In 3rd place, from Evergreen Middle School, Christopher Dickman, Communicating with America, How FDR's Fireside Chats Showed the Way Forward. Teacher Nicole Kessler. In 2nd place, moving on to nationals, from Kamayakan Middle School, Nikita Sharma, the Women's Medical College of Pennsylvania, Communications Role in Forming an Institution Designed to Further Equality in America. Teacher Marcy Martin. And in 1st place, also going to nationals, from Timbercrest Middle School, Matthew Eng, the Reykjavik Summit, Communications and the End of the Cold War. Teacher Kim Matthews. Congratulations to the best junior papers in Washington State. Senior papers. In 6th place, from International Community School, May Houts, the Paris Peace Conference, Communication After Calamity, teacher Alexandra Fraley. In 5th place, from East Lake High School, Keegan Willett, Homing Pigeons, World War I's Smallest Soldiers, teacher Timothy Rogers. In 4th place, from Lakeside School, Hallie Shue, A Dainty Derogatory Sort of Success, How the Women's Suffrage Movement of Washington State Demonstrated the Paradoxical Nature of Respectable Communication, teacher Michael Brandon. In 3rd place, from Mercer Island High School, Margaret Matheson, Mary Catherine Goddard, An Independent Woman Fighting for the Freedom of the Press, teacher Ed Puchala. In 2nd place, moving on to nationals, from Charles Wright Academy, Patricia Estrada, the literary voice of the Filipino Americans, how Carlos Bulosan communicated the plight, identity, and dreams of the Filipino Americans, teacher Tom Kramer. And in 1st place, also going to nationals, from North Creek High School, Andrew Daw, Covering the Plague, Media Communication in the HIV/AIDS Epidemic, teacher Rhonda McGee. Congratulations to the best senior papers in Washington State. Junior individual website. In 5th place, from Explorer Middle School, Andrew Kang, Helen Keller, activist and master communicator, teacher Mary Fitzmaurice. In 4th place, from Canyon Park Middle School, Mahir Emran, Nelson Mandela's transformation from a prisoner to a global icon, teacher Craig Tupper. In 3rd place, from Leota Middle School, Ryan Pasquale, The Tiananmen Square Massacre, Silencing the Cries for Freedom, teacher John Moore. In 2nd place, moving on to nationals, from North Shore Middle School, Ishita Arekapudi, Right Stuff, Wrong Gender, The Mercury 13 and How They Communicated the Need for Gender Equality in the Space Program, teacher Corey Martin. And in 1st place, also going to nationals, from International Community School, Jasmine Zen, Newspapers During the 1918 Flu, Censorship and Misinformation Amidst a Global Pandemic, teacher Alexandra Fraley. Congratulations to the best junior individual websites in Washington State. Junior group websites. In 6th place, from Cedar Heights Middle School, Will Valerio, Sawyer Broom, and Camden Altanay, How the Transcontinental Railroad Changed Communication Forever, teacher John Lee. In 5th place, from Rainier Middle School, Harleen Kaur and Rachel Marshall, A Second Plane Hit the Second Tower, America is Under Attack, Andy Card, 9/11/2001. In 4th place, from Brighton School, Lily Tessendor and Madison Morales Tomas, A Society Stripped of Communication, Government Censorship in the Soviet Union, teacher Matt Harrow. In 3rd place, from North Shore Middle School, Jillian Starkozy and Alexa Saladin, The Choctaw Code Talkers, Innovating a New Way of Military Communication, teachers Al Plummer and Corey Martin. In 2nd place, moving on to nationals, from Timberline Middle School, Rishab Oswal, Maxwell Shee, and Noel Prince Muthuplakal, FDR's Fireside Chats, teacher Casey Whitlatch. And in 1st place, also going to nationals, from Timberline Middle School, Ananya Bezbarua, Dia Modi, and Ramya Suresh, Rose Schneiderman, the red-haired labor union leader, teacher Casey Whitlatch. Congratulations to the best junior group websites in Washington State. Senior individual website. In 6th place, from the Delta High School, Jackson Burnett, Stolen Art in History, teacher John Keeney. In 5th place, from Kamiak High School, Esa Adana, The Cuban Missile Crisis, From Simple Miscommunication to Near Devastation, teacher Shan Oglesby. In 4th place, from Innovation Lab High School, Caitlin Hahn, Propaganda in World War I, The Communication of Visual Art and Its Perception by Marginalized Groups, teacher Dory Whooper. In 3rd place, from Lake Washington High School, Kayla Tarao, The Back Channel That Saved Us All, teacher Mike Hollinger. In 2nd place, moving on to nationals, from Charles Wright Academy, Allie McDougall, The Big Burn, A New Conservation Conversation, teacher Tom Kramer. And in 1st place, also going to nationals, also from Charles Wright Academy, Andrew No, Presidential Communication from Radio to Twitter, teacher Tom Kramer. Congratulations to the best senior individual websites in Washington State. Senior group website. In 6th place, from West Valley High School, Lucy Sawyer and Desiree Quenzer, Stealing the Show, A Bold Declaration for Women's Suffrage, the Women's Suffrage Parade of 1913, teacher Bradley Liebrecht. In 5th place, from the Delta High School, Diana Manzanis and Sabria Morshed, Red Alert, It's the McCarthy Era, teacher David Blacketer. In 4th place, from Lake Washington High School, Dominic Newman and Marissa Gantar, Miscommunication in the Cuban Missile Crisis, teacher Mike Hollinger. In 3rd place, from International Community School, Razin Samir, Lucian Jung, Alp Iskin, and Taran Srinivasan, The Creation of the Internet and Its Effects on Communication, teacher Alexandra Fraley. In 2nd place, moving on to nationals, from Bothell High School, Alex Dimov, Samarth Venkatesh, and Nathan Hendrickson, Curbing Communication, Obstructing Opinion, The Sedition Act of 1798, teacher Kim Matthews. And in 1st place, also moving on to nationals, from Castle Rock High School, Riley Ogden and Paige Ogden, A Whole New World, The Impact of Braille as a Means of Communication, teacher Stephen Hart. Congratulations to the best senior group websites in Washington State. Junior individual performance. In 6th place, from Housel Middle School, Miriam Sloniker, Opening Our Ears, How Broadway Musicals Shape History and Communicate Unwanted Truths, teacher Dean Smith. In 5th place, from North Shore Middle School, Emily Shin, How 9/11 Introduced the Patriot Act, teacher Al Plummer. In 4th place, from Centennial Middle School, Madeline Otel, Messenger Pigeons in War, How Cherami and Major Whittlesey Saved the Lost Battalion, teacher Karen Price. In 3rd place, from Anacortes Middle School, Morgan Dickinson, The Ultra Project, The Impact on World War II and Today, teacher Molly Robbins. In 2nd place, moving on to nationals, from Timbercrest Middle School, Sarah Van Noy, Slave Communication, A Secret Network to Freedom, teacher Kim Matthews. And in 1st place, also going to nationals, from Housel Middle School, Riley Thornock, Sink, Sank, Sunk, How Failed Communication Led to Disaster, teacher Dean Smith. Congratulations to the best junior individual performances in Washington State. Junior group performances. In 4th place, from John Sedgwick Middle School, Victoria Schmidt and Tilly McCann, Nancy Wake and the Bike Ride of a Lifetime, teacher Courtney Kallstrom. In 3rd place, from Pleasant Valley Middle School, Kira Wilson and Amelia DeMoss, Clarity, Quantity, Focus, Key to Understanding How the Federalist Papers Convinced the States to Ratify the Constitution, teacher Irene Suhu. In 2nd place, moving on to nationals, from Cedar Heights Middle School, Keziah Phillips, Savannah Rogers, Natalie Berry, and Makia Raymond Rivera, ASL Network, teacher John Lee. And in 1st place, also going to nationals, from Anacortes Middle School, Sidra Memish, Mara Wolfswinkle, Maylee Hilburn, Simply Hidden in the Quilt Stitches, The Story of How Quilt Codes Led Slaves to Freedom, teacher Samuel Guzik. Congratulations to the best junior group performances in Washington State. Senior individual performance. In 1st place, moving on to nationals, from Prosser High School, Miles Gamble, Eddie Adams Reflex Shot, Communicating the Terrors of War Through Pictures, teacher Kyla Smith. Congratulations to the best senior individual performance in Washington State. Senior group performance. In 2nd place, moving on to nationals, from Castle Rock High School, Kinsey Bays and Gracie Sibbett, Lucretia Mott and Elizabeth Cady Stanton's Communication in Women's Rights, teacher Stephen Hart. And in 1st place, also going to nationals, from Woodinville High School, Megumi Okamoto and Nor Khalidi, Alice Cogswell, Communicating Through the Silent Language, teacher Kim Matthews. Congratulations to the best senior group performances in Washington State. Junior individual documentary. In 5th place, from Canyon Park Middle School, Chiyuan Song, How the Cold War Became Inspiration for a New Form of Communication, teacher Craig Tupper. In 4th place, from Cedar Heights Middle School, Tyler Kim, This Code Was Classified, teacher Courtney Kallstrom. In 3rd place, from Evergreen Middle School, Shreya Narayan, Diversity in Advertising, Where It All Began, teacher Nicole Kessler. In 2nd place, moving on to nationals, from North Shore Middle School, Faraz Naki, Muhammad Ali the Greatest, teacher Corey Martin. And in first place, also going to nationals, from Timbercrest Middle School, Katie Eng, The Harlem Renaissance, Communicating a New Identity, teacher Kim Matthews. Congratulations to the best junior individual documentaries in Washington State. Junior Group Documentary. In sixth place, from Chief Umtuk Middle School, Tova Orth and Ava Donnins, Radium Advertising and Industry in the 1900s, teacher Beth Dowdy. In fifth place, from Morgan Middle School, Teresa Garcia Green, Gwendolyn Scoville, and Jasmine Rivera, How Did Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein First Release the Watergate Scandal, teacher Nathan Bradshaw. In fourth place, from Evergreen Middle School, Audrey Yang and Megha Ramachandran, The Pen is Mightier Than the Sword, The Power of the Press During the Vietnam War, teacher Nicole Kessler. In third place, from International Community School, Saranya Palmi, Vaishnavi Pavaluri, and Arisha Gupta, From Intelligence to Independence, Behind the Scenes of the American Fight for Freedom, teacher Alexandra Fraley. In second place, moving on to nationals, from Skyview Middle School, Brian Nye and Brandon Nye, Tap Code, Ciphering Communication to Survive, teacher Nicole Malecki. And in first place, also going to nationals, from Canyon Park Middle School, Kimberly Ortman, Kavin Palanisamy, and Trisha Pakuluri, Native American Boarding Schools, A Struggle to Communicate Through History, teacher Craig Tupper. Congratulations to the best junior group documentaries in Washington State. Senior Individual Documentary. In sixth place, from Lake Washington High School, Jackson Lauren, Cartoons of Corruption, teacher Michael Dawson. In fifth place, from East Lake High School, Onella Banerjee, The Paleface is a Demon, Disney's version of Pocahontas, teacher Timothy Rogers. In fourth place, from Riverside High School, Robert Luton, Spokane and the IWW, The Forgotten Soapbox Silence, teacher Chris Wren. In third place, from the Delta High School, Mallory Pate, She Made It After All, Mary Tyler Moore's Portrayal of the Modern American Woman, teacher David Blacketer. In second place, moving on to nationals, from Innovation Lab High School, Amelie Fry, The Revolution Will Be Televised, How TV News Communicated the Message of the Civil Rights Movement Across America, teacher Dory Whooper. And in first place, also going to nationals, is Annette Dubinsky with her entry Golden Reflections. Congratulations to the best senior individual documentaries in Washington State. Senior Group Documentary. In sixth place, from Kennedy Catholic High School, Nadia Ray and Ray Williams, Understanding History Through the Language of Hip Hop, teacher John Wright. In fifth place, from Ballard High School, Lillian Peterson and Charlie T., Fear of a Black Planet, A Lesson in Fighting the Power, teacher Sean Lee. In fourth place, from Kennedy Catholic High School, Caitlin Barnes, Katie Hulsher, and Emily Rongel Yanis, Cracking the Enigma Code, Why It Was Crucial for Victory, teacher John Wright. In third place, from East Lake High School, Helena Zhang and Ria Kalra, The Pentagon Papers, Communicating Harsh Truths at What Cost, teacher Timothy Rogers. In second place, moving on to nationals, from International Community School, Stella Plavzik and Sophia Kim, Picture Perfect America, The Impact of Posters Communicating the Standard of Patriotism, teacher Alexandra Fraley. And in first place, also going to nationals, from Ballard High School, Charlie Hazel Pond and Amelia DiUlio, Anti-Japanese Propaganda, The Inhuman Enemy. Congratulations to the best senior group documentaries in Washington State. Junior Individual Exhibit. In fifth place, from Marcus Whitman Middle School, Roxy Woods, Through the Struggle to the Stars, The Voyager Golden Records, teacher Courtney Kallstrom. In fourth place, from Centennial Middle School, Rev LaRue, Gimme a Sign, The Origins of Baseball's Nonverbal Communication, teacher Karen Price. In third place, from Leota Middle School, Arnie Omley, Coding the Spoken Language, Navajo Code Talkers, teacher John Moore. In second place, from Timbercrest Middle School, Sarah Krug, Navajo Code Talkers, The Communications That Changed the Course of World War II, teacher Kim Matthews. And in first place, also going to nationals, from Leota Middle School, Ainsley Mann, Dorothea Lang, Communicating with a Lens for Change, teacher John Moore. Congratulations to the best junior individual exhibits in Washington State. Junior Group Exhibit in 6th place from Canyon Park Middle School, Ishan Srivastava and Jishnu Mehta. One Giant Leap for Media, How Apollo 11 Transformed Mass Communication. Teacher Craig Tupper. In 5th place from Canyon Park Middle School, Bryn Hoyt and Anna Lundy, Air Traffic Controller Strike of 1981. Teacher Craig Tupper. In 4th place, from Pleasant Valley Middle School, Christina Goldenov, Abigail Dubinsky, Layla Segovia, and Alyssa Huyn. The March from Selma to Montgomery, Alabama, How the March Shamed the U.S. in World Opinion and Led to the Passing of the 1965 Voting Rights Bill. Teacher Irene Suhu. In 3rd place, from Pleasant Valley Middle School, Lily Roman Myers and Kaylee O'Lear, Cesar Chavez, Strikes, Fasts, and Boycotts to Empower the Powerless. Teacher Irene Suhu. In 2nd place, moving on to nationals, from Evergreen Middle School, Pavitra Dave and Anusha Bagur, Communicating Independence, Understanding How Flappers Redefined Feminism. Teacher Nicole Kessler. And in 1st place, also going to nationals, and also from Evergreen Middle School, Nila Magundan, Sneha Sharma, April Shi, and Sophia Huang. Miranda writes, Miscommunication and its Unintended Impacts. Teacher Nicole Kessler. Congratulations to the best junior group exhibits in Washington State. Senior individual exhibit in 6th place from Ballard High School, Alexandra Dowdy, Virginia Hall, Misunderstanding of Women's Potential Post-World War II. In 5th place from Ballard High School, Ella Joseph, Elizabeth Friedman, the unsung hero of World War II, teacher Robin Dowdy. In 4th place, again from Ballard High School, Hope Onstad, The Art of Photography Revolutionized by Group F64, teacher Robin Dowdy. In 3rd place from Issaquah High School, Taylor Yingxi, Communication Transcends Tyranny, Latin America's Male Art Movement, teacher Jacqueline Ballure. In 2nd place, moving on to nationals, from Prosser High School, Clara Wickoff, Congresswoman Jeanette Rankin, Communicating Her Pacifist Beliefs, teacher Kyla Smith. In 1st place, also going to nationals, from the Bear Creek School, Malika Powell, In Tongues of Ice, Alaskan Missionary Work of St. Innocent Veniaminov, Furthering Native Languages, teacher Mark Schult. Congratulations to the best senior individual exhibits in Washington State. Senior group exhibits. In 6th place, from Kennedy Catholic High School, Claire Baxter and Mara Brennan, The Fight for Women's Suffrage, teacher John Wright. In 5th place, from Lake Washington High School, Reem Abdulhamid and Jolie Barga, Simone de Beauvoir, Communicating Gender Equality Through Literature, teacher Jill Berge. In 4th place, from Ballard High School, Mia Saunders and Issa Wick, Keith Haring, Art as Activism During the AIDS Crisis, teacher Sean Lee. In 3rd place, from Kennedy Catholic High School, Grayson Haley and Samuel Scoville, We Will Not Be Silent, How the Mississippi Movements Led to the Voting Rights Act of 1965, teacher John Wright. In 2nd place, moving on to nationals, from Kamiak High School, Mina Kai and Connor Park, Pioneers of War Communication, The Hello Girls, teacher Shan Oglesby. And in 1st place, from Vancouver iTech Preparatory, Clark Hedgewald, Grant Myers, and Jonah Campbell, No Need for Translation, The Apollo-Soyuz Mission, teacher John Zingali. Congratulations to the best senior group exhibits in Washington State. Again, Nationals qualifiers, please wait to register for Nationals until you have received an email from me on Monday, May 3rd, with instructions and a coupon code. Congratulations to all our finalists and those students who will be representing Washington State at the virtual national contest. And finally, our 2021 Junior Division and Senior Division Outstanding Schools. Each winning school will receive a banner from our friends at the Washington State Archives. The 2021 Junior Division Outstanding School was a tie this year, so our two winners are Timbercrest Middle School and Evergreen Middle School. And the 2021 Senior Division Outstanding School is Ballard High School. Again, thank you to all the teachers who bring this program to life in your classrooms, the students who rise to the challenge, the families who support them, and the individuals and organizations who support this program here in Washington State.